ASMR Magical Tools. Hey bestie, how's it going? How have you been? Okay, well, let's see what we can do about that. So, first of all, whenever you're setting out to do shadow work, it's important to be highly protected and to go into the process willing to confront all the parts of yourself that you might need to work on. Yeah, it is really tough. And it can be really difficult to realize that we're not perfect and that every day is a new journey and a new opportunity to improve. Down in the description box, I have listed the affirmations that I will be using in the subliminal for this video. So, if you want to look through those, I have designed them specifically to help you on your journey. Because self-improvement and shadow work obviously are not a one-day process. You can return to this video anytime you want. Let me show you the tools that I'm going to be using. This is sea buckthorn oil. And it's a very nutritious oil, and I use it for raising vibrations. I have been intuitively directed to use it in my purification work, but I don't think there's any evidence online or in any of the books that I've read to necessarily back that up, only that it's very good for healing. An old chestnut, the black magic incense, as I've mentioned before. It's good for counteracting black magic as well. And I think that's specifically what it's designed for. There's a lot of Saturnian correspondence to the black magic incense. I did grow out my nails a little bit. So, everybody knows what selenite looks like. Selenite is a highly purified substance. It resonates directly with the divine white light of the Creator. And its crystalline structure, as you might have noticed, is very much like a fiber optic cable. So that makes it very conductive for energy. And it never needs to be cleansed because its vibration is already incredibly high. For that reason, though, it also makes it very difficult to charge it with purpose. So you might have noticed that I don't really use selenite in my scrying videos. This is a obsidian knife. It's very primitive. It did come from that obsidian sphere that shattered. It's not super sharp, but what we're going to be using this for is gently scraping things away off of the surface that are no longer serving you. Obsidian is very good for this because its own vibration is very strong and powerful, and therefore it is not easily influenced by our vibrations or other entity vibrations. And for this reason, obsidian is an excellent choice for scrying and for doing cleansing work. It can be a little bit intense, but unless somebody's really running you through the heart with it, it's not particularly dangerous. And I'm going to be lighting a candle to kind of help with the removal of these darker parts of the self. And I've chosen purple because purple is a very good color for change, for intuition, and resonates strongly with the violet ray. So we'll be using purple candle for our work today. I do also have these gloves, which have a really interesting lattice work, open lattice work on them. They are suede, and I will be using them as well, but I won't be putting them on just yet, because when I'm working with anointing the candle with the sea buckthorn oil, I don't want to get that all over the outside of the gloves. It's much better if I do that with my hands. So we'll do that first. And actually, what I like to do, because you want to anoint your candle, see, we're healing, so we're bringing in healing energy. So you could go probably either way. With this one, I like to just dip the top into the oil, and as you can see, it kind of gets taken up on the wick. Sea buckthorn oil does have a very strong coloration. Also, the smell is not very strong, but the coloration is very vivid. And this is just going to be really good for healing. Once I rub it into my hands, the color will be okay. It won't stain my gloves or anything. So don't worry about that. It will soak into my hands, which is good because When the Santa Anas blow through, it sucks all of the moisture out of the air. So now I'm going to light this candle. Focus on the lighter, focus on the lighter, focus on the lighter. There we go. Set your intention. Just look at the flame. Think about all the things you have to be grateful for in your life. And also think about the things about yourself that you would like to improve. Whether they're things that are caused by personal flaws or things that are even a bit beyond your control. And just start feeling the glow of the flame surround you. And the warmth, the purifying elements of the candle. I'm going to try to stick it here into this. Let's see. There we go. It can be a little tricky when the oil is on the candle because it makes the candle not want to stick to things. Let's see if that got it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Just focus on the flame. Focus on the flame. Focus, focus, focus. And the violet ray, the two ends of the spectrum. You've got absolute white light, and you have the violet ray on both ends of the spectrum. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I have to rub in all of the sea buckthorn oil now. And I'm gonna put on my gloves. Have to be very delicate while I pull them on. And now they're on. Great. So now, I think this is a brand new box of incense. Oh wow, they smell really fresh. So now, focus on the flame. I'm going to light this incense, okay? And just feel it. Feel the smoke blowing all over you. And getting into all of the any little pinpricks in your subtle body that might need to be closed. As long as anything isn't trapped in there. You want to make sure you don't have any psychic attachments or astral parasites clinging onto you. I want you to think back over the past week. Think about anything that maybe didn't go your way, or things that maybe you wish they'd gone differently. Yeah, I know it's a sore subject. I'm not trying to make you upset. But this is part of doing the work, putting in the work. None of us are ever so perfect that we never need to do shadow work. I do a lot of shadow work. And as you do shadow work, you will find that other things in your life start improving just by merit of the fact that you are raising your vibration. So start calling to mind. We won't go any further back than the previous week. And I certainly don't want you to be dredging up any deep-seated trauma the first time through this exercise. How you use it is entirely up to you. And I want you to walk through the whole exercise. Walk past it like you're going through a museum. As each scene plays out, you can see how you behaved, how the people around you were acting, and the part that both of you played in the situation. It's very important to remember with shadow work in general, but with shadow work especially, that trying to control other people's actions is not the best way to handle things. I won't say that it's totally pointless or fruitless, because obviously within the realm of magic there are things like binding spells and love filters and other ways that we can set about to control the behavior of others. But the most effective way of dealing with most of these situations is to control your own behavior first. Try something different on your own behalf. Look at the scenario firstly from the point of view, what if this person's behavior never changes? What am I going to do on my own behalf? A lot of times the most effective thing to do is just to walk away from that person and their issues. Obviously, there are some cases where that's not feasible, but your assumption should be that a person's behavior is not going to change until they give you evidence, strong evidence to the contrary. And pay attention to the cycles too, because a lot of people will respond differently but then fall back over time into the same comfortable patterns. And it's important for you to recognize those and be able to remove yourself from them as well. Okay? I know it does hurt, but it's important for you to take care of yourself first. They always say when you're on an airplane, if they lose compression in the air of the cabin, that you need to put your mask on first before you assist anyone else, even your own child, with their mask. And it's important to remember that. It's very important to remember that you're not very much good to anyone else if you are not taking care of yourself first. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. In fact, a much more selfish pattern of behavior would be to martyr yourself for others unnecessarily, especially. That doesn't do anyone any good, and it lowers the vibration of the overall situation. Sometimes people genuinely do need our help, and it's important to evaluate situations too where we could be nicer to people. It is important to develop your discernment so that you can give people the benefit of the doubt without completely rewiring your own situation to accommodate anyone else's horse fodder. In fact, sometimes you can do very small things for other people that help them immensely. It's important to recognize when people need help, but it's also important to recognize that there needs to be consent involved in your interactions with other people. If you help someone and they haven't asked for your help, they're much more likely to be incredibly ungrateful. And unless it's an emergency, then it's better to allow people to have their own free will. So now I'm going to get out my selenite. And as you walk past these scenarios from the past week that you wish had gone better, and you're evaluating your part in them, other people's parts in them, we're going to use the power of this selenite as kind of a eraser, if you will. And I'm just going to move the candle around and the selenite. And what this is going to do, it's going to give you the opportunity for a do-over. If you had this to do over, what would you do differently? What would you do differently? How would you behave differently? How would you encourage others to raise their vibration in this situation? How would you help other people improve their own vibrational emissions towards others? Obviously, as I mentioned before, it's very difficult to change the behavior of other people, even with the assistance of magic. And that should not be your first recourse. What you should be doing, rather, is focusing on the ways you can change your own behavior that benefit everyone involved. Yeah, look over here. No, down here. I know the candle is right here in your face, but look over here. Look up here. Up here. Look up here. Great. You're doing phenomenal, sweetie. Bestie, we're gonna get your vibes in check in no time. Yeah, look over here. Yeah, I mean, it was very thoughtless of them to do that, and I'm sure that you did the best that you could at the time. And it's important to recognize that also, and be kind to the previous versions of yourself. And always trust they felt like they needed to do at the time. And just because that's how things went in the past does not mean that's how you have to continue to do them in the future. It is good to be forgiving and understanding of our own past selves. But that also does not mean that just because there was a certain way that you behaved in the past, that you have to allow that behavior in others back into your life. Forgive, but do not absolve. Okay? Repeat it with me if you want to. Forgive, but do not absolve. 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 Allow the past version of yourself to be at peace also. Because they weren't as far along on their journey as you are now. And it's so important. It's so important to recognize and express gratitude for how far you've come and how blessed you have been. I know that was like pretty close to your face. Yeah, are you okay? Okay. Well, I understand if it makes you uncomfortable. If you want to stop at any time, just let me know. My goal is to make you just uncomfortable enough that it becomes a catalyst for change. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is not going to be an easy process. And it is important that it be ongoing and that you show up for yourself consistently. This video is one aid that you can use in doing that. But you are also encouraged to carry on the work on your own. Just burning off all of the residual scrapings that have come off. Okay. We're gonna kind of make some little cuts here ready for the channeling of the divine white light energies into your spirit. Okay, so these are surgical incisions that I'm making. These are not like the holes that get poked in your subtle body when somebody has created a puppet or a voodoo doll against you or anything like that. These are going to be sealed up at the end of this session surgically, okay? So we're going to breathe together, and this is going to help the divine white light fill every cell of your body, okay? So, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. And inhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. And inhale. And feel now that you are full of divine white light. And exhale. And inhale. Pulling in the energy of divinity. And exhale all of the old remnants of the things from the past week which you have now resolved. And inhale and pull into your body the divine white light. Picture it coming down from the stars. And exhale and push your feelings of jealousy, the need to control, any anger that you're holding on to, any toxins or poisons on your emotional level that are clinging to your etheric body. And inhale and draw up that beautiful divine white light. Okay, and now hold. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and exhale all of the toxic emotional energy that you have been holding on to. It's not going to hold you back anymore. And now that you are free of all those negative emotions, if you can see, we kind of opened up like this star-shaped hole in your etheric field where I had cut those slits. That's why I cut those slits there, so that the energy could pass freely, okay? This is a very delicate alchemical procedure that we're doing here. So, I might put a disclaimer on this video just because it's going to be very powerful in many ways. So first we're going to get in there with the incense. We're going to disinfect everything in there. Yes, you're doing a great job. now I'm going to get in there with this candle and we're going to start sealing up the edges of the hole. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just focus on the flame, focus on the flame. We're kind of melting the edges and we're going to kind of seal them up. Alright, sealing up the edges of that etheric hole. Okay. Bestie, you're doing such a phenomenal job. Yeah. No, you've really been doing great. Well, so now, the way that we're going to finally seal everything up is with the selenite. And I'm just going to use the selenite to stitch everything back up again. Yeah, there we go. Excellent job. Excellent job. Yeah, you're doing great. Just smoothing it over. Yeah, you've done a great job. You've done a great job. Great job, great job, great job, great job, great job. I hope that this helped you out a lot. Please let me know down in the comments if you like the video, and give it a thumbs up if you like. I can also do custom videos. Those are available on my website. All that info is down in the description box. It's so good to see you again. And I look forward to visiting together very soon.